wants to do the intro?
This is how we start episodes.
Yeah.
I can
chaotic
intro.
Okay.
Okay. Well. Look what time it is. Welcome, one and all. It's Quarter Twins time.
Quarter Twins.
I'm Jordan, as always, joined by my co-host Joshua.
Hello.
And today is a very, very special occasion. We have our first guest appearance from the Mr. Kolton York. Hello, Kolton.
Hello. It's
Welcome,
a very
welcome.
special occasion.
All the way from Webb City, Missouri.
Woo.
Man.
Wonderful place.
Exciting time. Today is our first guest episode. We are very excited to have Kolton here to talk about his favorite movie, among other things, including Episode 5 of Moon Knight and the hotly anticipated Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga. Our first time chatting about a video game. That is very exciting. Right off the bat, I'd like to thank our lovely listeners. Thank you for listening, for enjoying the podcast, and for listening to our ad last week. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
But seriously, we're
making money, that's for sure.
I mean, yeah. Every ad listen is a penny. We have almost made a quarter.
Yes.
A quarter for Quarter Twins. The only podcast where 2 quarters makes $1. We didn't.
That's
Did we
right.
say that last week? I don't remember.
We said it last week. I
Yes,
forgot to
we-
say it in the intro. My bad.
That's okay. We're good. Okay. Before we get into the meat and potatoes, we wanted to briefly discuss a potential schedule change for release, weekly releases of episodes. So normally we do Fridays for the Spotify, Apple Podcast release day, audio only. And then on Tuesdays at 10 a.m., I upload the video version on YouTube. Jordan, as the intellectual, technological beast he is, has figured out how to do video episodes on Spotify and
Yes.
Apple Podcasts, ? Or do they do that? I don't know.
Just Spotify.
Just Spotify.
Yeah, just
That's
Spotify.
okay. Sorry, Apple Podcast listeners. We wanted to posit the question of delaying the audio-only episodes to, or at least the Spotify episodes, to Tuesdays at 10 a.m. as well, or, a different day of the week, whatever anybody would potentially prefer, and if that works, if you'd rather listen to them on the weekends, if you'd rather listen to them at work, what you're thinking and feeling. Eventually, we would like to have the episode go out on all platforms at the same time.
Yes.
Because then there's no preferential treatment for any one platform.
Since we have the capability to release video and audio on Spotify as well as YouTube, we thought it would make sense to release both at the exact same time.
Exactly.
So,
And
we just need those couple extra days for Joshua to edit the video up. So,
because it does take
a little more
time.
time.
And this last week, oh man, what a time it was.
oh,
It
man.
was rough.
Oh, man.
There were some audio issues on the face cam. I have learned, and I will do better. Speaking of YouTube and video, you can go to the YouTube channel right now and find the first YouTube exclusive content over on the
Ooh.
channel. A fun little
Wow.
5-minute ad read blooper session of us trying to get our script figured out for the Anchor ad.
It was a really
rough.
funny time.
It was funny. It's 5 minutes of mistakes,
It took us
mostly mine.
Yeah, it took us 5 minutes to record 30 seconds of an ad
It was rough.
that we had scripted for us. But, it's fun. You should watch it.
Yeah.
It's a fun time.
Speaking of ads, should we roll our ad right now?
I think we should. Whoa, Dad, is that the
Whoa.
ad time? Whoa.
And
All right, there we go.
there's the ad. They're loving it. They're listening
You
to it.
listened to it. They made us a penny.
They made us
It's
a
the same as
penny.
last time.
It is.
So good.
And we're back.
Whew.
What an ad that was. Thank you to Anchor for sponsoring us and this lovely podcast. Now, Kolton sat here for the first 5 minutes of the podcast, and we haven't even acknowledged his existence other than saying,
introduced
hey,
him.
hello. So I'd love to get to know our guest, because other than meeting him very briefly at Jordan's wedding, I haven't actually had the fortune of speaking directly to Kolton. So I have here in the doc 2 questions, very eloquent.
Eloquent.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Is that
okay.
right? Eloquent?
Elephant. Yeah.
Elephantly
that's the one.
worded. Who you is?
I is Kolton York.
Mm.
I is a student at Missouri Southern State University and Ozark Christian College.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
All right. Do you have an occupation or any?
I work at a custom guitar shop called NJT Guitars. NJT Aged Finishes in Carthage, Missouri.
Very nice.
So
we love
they're
that for you.
part-time.
Big music
They're
buff.
part-time. School all the other times.
Sure.
So.
Yeah, I know the school
Kolton-
schedule is fun.
Kolton and I met way back when the August of 2019, potentially.
Yeah.
Freshman orientation at Ozark Christian College. We were put on a worship team together. And yeah, did that together, became good friends, good buddies. Glad to have him on the podcast.
Exciting.
He is very good at the guitar and singing and music stuff. And he's tying the knot here in a couple weeks with his soon-to-be bride, Karen. Shout out to Karen. We love you, Karen. So congrats, Kolton.
That's
yeah,
awesome.
we do.
Congratulations. All right, and my next and final question is why you love movies?
Man, what a question.
It really is. I'm glad I thought of it.
Movies are probably one of the things that my family has bonded on over my years of existence. Like some families are board game families, my family are movie people. So I was exposed to movies at a very young age, and I don't know, I was just kind of mesmerized with movies at a young age and the sort of escapism that movies provide, which isn't always awesome when I need to be productive, but you know how it is.
It is what it is.
Well, that's great. We love that for you.
What's the first movie you remember seeing?
Oh.
That's a hard question. I don't even know the answer to that for me.
The first movie I remember receiving like a copy of is Empire Strikes Back.
Wow,
from
really?
I think my grandma.
Wow.
I think.
Wow, go grandma.
She for sure got it for me.
That's awesome.
But that's the first movie that I remember receiving.
Yeah.
In terms of what movie I watched first, I have no idea. Probably Jungle Book or something.
Yeah, who knows?
I don't know.
I remember vividly when the first Cars came out.
Yeah.
And seeing
I
that
remember
was
seeing
a
that in
deal.
theaters. I cannot remember if I saw that in theater or Dead Man's Chest. But those are like the first 2 movies I remember seeing in theaters.
Wow.
I can't even go that far back in my memory.
It was a long time ago.
Yeah.
I remember nothing about Dead Man's Chest other than when the island person is like camouflaged into the tree and you get the big jump scare.
Oh, gosh.
That's the only part of the movie I remember seeing in theaters.
I was just
Scary
talking about
times.
the Pirates movies with Elisha Maxwell yesterday. He's a big fan, and I was notoriously against them until very recently. And I was like, you know what? These are pretty good. We should do a podcast on it.
We absolutely should. I was just about to.
I thought they were
bring that
trash movies for a long time, and then I was like, you know what? These are actually pretty good.
You know, the first 3 are really good.
That's where it is. Yeah.
So
I've
The
only
last
seen the
two,
first three, so
that's all you need to see.
that's good. All right, that's
Man.
exciting. Um, well, I'm excited to have you for this podcast as our very first guest. If
Woo.
you want to be a guest on the podcast in the future, hit up Jordan over on Quarter Twins or his personal Instagram if you feel so inclined. And let him know what your favorite movie is, any controversial takes you have, and we'll see about fitting you into the schedule someday down the road.
Yeah.
All right. First of 3 topics today is Moon Knight Episode 5. We've all seen Moon Knight. We all know where we're at. Episode 5.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. I think we do not need to worry about this show being formulaic. That has been a theme for our podcast over the last couple weeks. We were worried that the show wouldn't be creative. It wouldn't be different. And for me personally, those fears are laid to rest after this episode.
Yep. There's still one left, but I'm cautiously optimistic. What did you think of this one, Colton?
So, our good friend Jed Moody pointed out a very common trait between Marvel shows, and it seems that around episode 5 is like whenever the story just kind of like ramps up to like 100 miles an hour just to like finish the story. And I didn't feel that at all with this episode. I felt like the stakes were raised significantly, but the pace maintained the same level.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking about that too. It is kind of following the same, like most of the Marvel shows, with maybe the exception of Loki, have had like 2 episodes, especially WandaVision. The first 2 episodes are like your intrigue episodes, like what the heck is going on episodes. The second 2 are like in-depth plot development, and then the 5th episode, like this one, is very exposition, which I thought they handled it much better in Moon Knight than, say, WandaVision, which I have problems with that we can talk about another day. But I thought Moon Knight episode 5 handled it very well and was very, very good.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm optimistic.
Yeah. If you've been listening to the podcast at all, you will know that me and Jordan specifically are very character-driven enjoyers. We love it when a show really delves into a character, their motivations, their loves, their likes, their wants, their fears, all that good stuff. And I think this show has really done a good job of giving Oscar Isaac multiple characters to play and multiple characters with exceedingly good depth. No Layla in this episode, though. Thoughts?
Yep.
Questions, concerns? Where did she go?
What is she up to?
Honestly, I didn't even really notice.
Oh.
I was too enamored with the whole backstory sequences that was going on.
Yeah, so just to recap, picks up where the last one left off. They're screaming at the hippo goddess, which is pretty great. I like her a lot as a character.
She was awesome.
I like, so they're in this mental ward, Stephen and Mark, and the goddess Taweret explains to them where they are, what's going on. They're on a boat that has a name that I don't remember, headed towards the afterlife, or
the field of reeds.
Heaven, the field of reeds, or if their scales are unbalanced, they'll be cast into the underworld or whatever. So their scales end up being like unbalanced and shifting, and so that kind of tells them that they need to kind of work some things out. So they go through this like rooms of memories, which is something that WandaVision also kind of did, where Agatha Harkness took Wanda through kind of memories of her past and that sort of thing.
Group therapy.
But yeah, we get some really, really good like character development, get some questions answered, like Mark was the original personality who was a child abused by his mother and created this other personality, Steven, to kind of escape from that reality. And as the abuse continued, like the kind of more that personality disorder ramped up. But yeah, I thought it was awesome. You know, I can really only think of a couple times when he's been in the Moon Knight suit. Like we talked about that last week. There's not a lot of Moon Knight in Moon Knight, which is like I've seen some people be like, why is Moon Knight not in this show? And I get it, but I'm here for the character of Mark.
I think it's awesome that they've used it so sparingly. This is the first episode that they've said Moon Knight, I think.
Yes.
Moon Knight. Which is cool. I think there's a lot of times where superhero shows will like force actors to put the mask on for the majority of the movie, and then they don't get to be an actor as much as a stuntman. I think this show has done an exceptionally good job of giving Oscar Isaac an amplitude of time, an ample amount of time to be the character, you know. And I think foreshadowing for a future episode, Spider-Man is one other good example of a superhero that gets to spend a lot of time outside of the mask and being a human. We love Peter Parker.
Which is the opposite of Matt Reeves' The Batman in terms of Batman the whole time.
That's not Bruce Wayne. Pretty much Batman the entire time.
Yeah. That is an interesting point, though. Because he's kind of...
Bruce Wayne is the alter ego.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Very interesting.
Interesting character study. We should do a podcast on that movie.
Wait. We already did.
We did that one.
We'll have to do another. Okay.
So, Kolton, you're a fan of the series so far, Kolton?
Yeah.
I am. I really enjoy it a lot.
Where would you put it on your Disney Plus MCU rank?
Right now, I think Falcon and Winter Soldier is number one for me, with Loki as a very close second.
Yeah.
And Marvel has a tendency to kind of drop the ball in the finales of their shows. So I'm really holding off to see how the finale plays out before I really put it above or below Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
But let's
cautiously optimistic.
Let's say it sticks the landing.
Okay.
Is it number one?
It probably is number one.
I think I have to agree on that one.
Yeah.
CGI.
Josh, you haven't seen Hawkeye, have you, Josh?
I haven't seen Hawkeye. No. And it's a shame because I really like Hawkeye as a character, and I think Jeremy Renner does that character well. I kind of missed it when it was happening because I have night class on Wednesdays, and it's a whole thing. And then it's just no one talks about it on the internet. I'm like, wow, I guess I just don't need to see this show. So
yeah, it came and went.
Yeah.
I think it deserves more attention than what it gets.
Yeah.
I think it's just a fun watch.
I do like a good fun watch on occasion.
Like the stakes aren't really high.
Yeah.
It's just a fun watch. Like just a good adventure.
Yeah, for sure.
Interesting. I mean, that's why I like Black Widow so much. So.
Yeah. Yeah, it just kind of like delves deeper into the characters that we haven't gotten to see very much in the movies because they get overshadowed by the giant plots and the bigger superheroes that are in it.
Interesting.
I'll probably watch it again. I'll probably watch it again around Christmas time because it's a very good. It takes place around Christmas.
Right.
It's a very good Christmas show.
It's a good Die Hard feel.
Yeah, maybe I'll wait. I'll wait till Christmas to watch it then.
Mm-hmm.
We can watch it together.
There you go.
Okay. We have talked profusely about Moon Knight. This might be a long podcast because we got 2 more topics.
That's okay.
And it is okay. We got a special guest. We want to have as much fun as we possibly can. Next up on the docket, Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga. Let me quickly bring up my Steam just to see how much playtime I have on this game. As of today, the game released, almost a month ago already?
Is that true? Is that true?
That's probably not true.
Oh my goodness.
My gosh.
I have 10 hours played.
Wow.
That's it.
Is that a lot?
I mean, well,
I don't know. Is that a lot or not a lot?
Relative to some people, that is nothing. Relative to other people, that's, oh my gosh, you spent half a day on a video game? So, it depends on who you ask. But let's just first, how much have we completed? And then we can kind of have a general review of what we think. Because I, for one, have not completed the 9 movies. I am about halfway through episode 5, starting at episode 1. So even my own experience with the game isn't complete, if you will. Kolton, what are you thinking? How much have you played?
I completed all 9 movies, and then I've just been kind of going through and free playing and farming some missions to multiply some studs. So
there you go.
Nice.
And Jordan?
Get those. I am halfway through The Last Jedi. I was really close, but I didn't get it done.
Okay.
Because I get distracted by whacking all the bricks.
Yeah.
Collecting stuff.
It's a collectathon for sure, and I'm excited to really dive into it. I've just been so busy playing other video games and studying hard for my final exams that I haven't played as much as I've wanted to.
Yeah, I haven't played a ton either, but it's been a great time.
Yeah.
A great time.
Regardless of how much time, within the first 30 minutes, best Lego game ever made.
Oh, yeah.
Graphically, untapped, untouched.
It has no business looking as good as it does.
Yeah, it's a Lego game, guys.
Yeah. It's ridiculous.
But yeah. And it runs well on my dingy little laptop here. I can only wait to see what it looks like on Batty Bo Batty.
That's right.
Exciting future time.
Man.
Are you guys playing with the voice acting or the mumble mode?
Voice
I'm
acting.
playing with voice acting.
Okay.
Because the voice acting is phenomenal.
There you
It's
go.
great.
Because they got real voice actors.
Yeah.
Not that they wouldn't have, but from like the Clone Wars and extended media stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of returning voice actors.
It's awesome. I think Anthony Daniels is C-3PO and in there, so we have
probably
a
he's
stable
got nothing
voice.
else going on.
No flame to Anthony Daniels, but I mean,
I
it's cool. It's a Lego game. Who wouldn't want to voice act for it, right?
I don't know who voices Han, but whoever it is does a phenomenal job.
I agree.
I think Han's voice is perfect.
I've only laughed at one, and it was the voice actor for Kylo Ren. I was like, this guy.
I thought
this guy.
Yeah.
The Emperor and Darth Vader have also been pretty funny in the few scenes that I've seen them.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's been. Did you guys play the original like Lego Star Wars?
Oh yeah.
Complete saga and all that. I assumed we all have. But
100%.
I didn't play complete saga, but I played like the 2, like 1 and 2 on the GameCube.
4, 5, and 6, and 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. but I never had the
Yeah.
complete saga.
I played one of my crowning memories of my childhood, or crowning achievements of my childhood, was playing Lego Star Wars: The Complete Saga on my Game Boy Advanced with flame decals. And I remember the moment when I got, like, I think it was 99,000 studs to buy the Emperor, who was the most expensive character that you could buy. And I remember the moment I got him, and oh man, I was so happy. I was so happy.
Jordan,
I think I had episode the second one, 4, 5, and 6 on my Game Boy Advance too.
Yeah.
I think I played those on my DS Lite or whatever back in the day.
Yeah.
Nice.
Jordan, do you recall in Kansas many years ago, we're playing out on the street, and we were playing Lego Star Wars on either my or your Game Boy, and Alex, our cousin, started a new game and deleted one of our files.
Yes. Oh,
and it
gosh,
was
I do
like
remember that.
almost completely finished.
Oh my gosh, we were so pissed at you, Alex. I hope
Dude.
you're listening.
It was, yeah, that was rough.
That was a long time ago.
I remember being like
I think we
genuinely
were actually in
angry.
Texas.
It may
I
have
think
been
we
in
were at his
Texas. It was
house.
in a cul-de-sac, so that doesn't make
Okay.
sense for it to be in Kansas.
Yeah, we weren't in a cul-de-sac, but yeah, I remember being really mad about that. Or you were really mad. It wasn't my game, so.
Yeah.
It was your work.
But it's okay. All is forgiven. You know?
All is forgiven.
Exactly.
Alex, come on the podcast, please.
Yeah. Tell us your favorite film. We'd love to hear about it. Okay, let's just quickly... of the episodes you guys have played, what is your favorite one?
Hard question.
It's probably between A New Hope or Return of the Jedi.
Oh. Exciting.
The trench run at the end of A New Hope is just too fun.
I did like that a lot.
It's so fun. And then if you get your stud multipliers on, you can get like over 1 million studs in one run through.
Wow.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
I know.
And then
Stud multipliers.
yeah, they're so great.
I know all of
Return of the Jedi was just fun.
Return of the Jedi was good?
Yeah, I just had a fun time playing that one.
That's awesome. I haven't gotten there yet, so maybe this weekend I'll crank out the original trilogy. I'm actually really excited to play the sequels because they haven't been in a Lego game. I know technically there was Lego Force Awakens, but I don't know who bought that.
I didn't play that one.
So I'm excited to see those levels. Hopefully they're good. I did watch one of my roommates, because all 4 of us in this house have Lego Star Wars on 3 different platforms. So that's fun. And he was playing as BB-8 rolling around, and he had a bunch of motion blur on. It did not look good. But that's my own personal bias.
We'll say the droids are way more fun to play as on this game than they were in the past.
Yeah, that's a crazy improvement that they've done. That every character can double jump and attack and do all that stuff. It just makes it so much easier to have fun playing. Even C-3PO in the original games was like walk around like this, super slow. Press circle on a thing, he opens a door. That's all he's good for. But now he can stun enemies or double jump up things. So huge
Cut himself
improvement.
in half and crawl spaces.
Right. Excuse me, sorry. I'm on like episode 5, and that has only been of use to me once. And I don't even think it was in the story. I think it was to get a Kyber brick. So hopefully that gets utilized a little bit better in the future. But I mean, it's a super interesting mechanic. I'm sure in the open world they fully utilize all that stuff.
Yeah.
Jordan, you have a favorite episode?
Um, I think my favorite is probably honestly I had a great time playing Attack of the Clones. I think it might be my favorite. I think my favorite boss battle so far was the Obi-Wan versus Grievous in Revenge of the Sith. That boss battle is awesome.
Yeah.
But I honestly really love the Lego prequel content. I think that's the best way I can engage with the Star Wars prequels is playing the Lego Star Wars games.
Version.
Yeah, I love playing that era of Star Wars in video games.
It's what George intended.
Yeah.
For it to be recreated in a child's eye for children to play. And we let our inner child out when we play those Lego games.
For sure.
Speaking of children, that's a weird way to say this, but I thought that
Cut that out.
Yeah. I think that the difficulty is that of a child. It is very easy. And obviously, it's a Lego game. We're, 22, 23 years old. It's not made for us. I get that. I understand that.
Well, it kind of is.
But at the same time, we were the kids. This is like when they made Monsters University for all the kids that were in college when it was coming out, right?
Yeah.
It's for us too. So I was kind of hoping that there would be a difficulty raiser of some sort to make, like the button mashing mechanic of where you like block 3 times in each direction over and over again, the lightsaber clashes, be like triangle, circle, square, triangle, circle, square, or something, just to make it even a little bit harder.
Yeah.
Or like have less health, because I feel like I've never needed to pick up a red heart.
No.
To like get health. So.
I even turned off a lot of the I turned off aim assist, which makes it a little bit more challenging, especially with space battles. Ships.
Okay.
There was one in Attack of the Clones when you're chasing the shapeshifter bounty hunter. I legitimately couldn't beat it without aim assist because I think it was also kind of buggy, but.
Yeah, I just flew through the asteroid field as Han in Episode 5 today. And it had this weird, set path for you to fly on to go through the field. And I was a little disappointed because that was the first time the game held my hand so tight. Yeah. And I was like, come on, guys, let me fly around. I want to get the mini kits. But,
get those mini kits.
Yeah. That being said, the game is super fun. Ultimately, I don't care that it's easy. It's still fun. And the open world quests and puzzles and stuff will be more than enough to fill my time for a long time. Because I'm going to get all 11 million Kyber bricks and all the mini kits.
It reminded me of Mario Odyssey, the way when you get a Kyber brick, they do a little dance.
Mario Odyssey is... I don't know if I have... Oh, it's on my phone. I think it's my number 1 game of all time. That's incredible. Love Super Mario Odyssey.
Did you ever play it, Colton?
I played it some, when I would go to my friend's house, but I'd never had it or anything.
Yeah.
Definitely my favorite Switch game.
It's great.
So good. Okay. One last thing from me before we move on, because I was going to bring it out last week, but it had no... It had no resemblance. It didn't matter when talking about Harry Potter, but we're talking about Star Wars. Yeah, relevance. That's the word. Yeah. So I'll be right back. Joshua, cut this out while I go get it.
My video pooped out. I don't know. I think I might have run out of storage or something.
No.
Here he comes with his lightsaber.
Haha.
Wow. Impressive.
I recently purchased a lightsaber. and I just wanted to brag. So here it is.
Brag
It
successful.
changes colors. Ooh, that's nice.
Dang. That's really nice.
Makes some cool noises. Oh, jeez. Hits. It does like all that cool stuff. So
Wow.
I just wanted to brag.
I'm impressed.
From a more civilized age.
Do you have a lightsaber, Colton?
I don't.
Wait, have you been to Galaxy's Edge yet?
No, I
Galaxy's Edge
haven't.
yet?
No.
I know we talked about it, but
I need to.
we need to go.
I need to, like, right now.
Yeah, this was given to me. Well, I paid for it, but then he gave it to me because he bought it online. It's just like a 4 stunts and like battle lightsaber. So the grip is really simple. It's not like unique at all. It's just like a base frame, but the weight of it is just immaculate. So it's been really fun to swing around in my room every day.
Turn the
by
lights
myself.
off and
Yes,
ignite it.
genuinely.
Of course,
I
the
sit in
only
my
way.
room in the dark and swing my lightsaber around like a child because it's
That's
awesome.
amazing.
So I've been
I
having fun
bought-
with
that
that.
Christmas.
I bought a pair of wands on Etsy.
Wands?
There was just an Etsy seller that was having like a 40% off sale.
Wow.
And I bought
Like
Sirius
Harry
Black
Potter
and
ones?
yeah,
Nice.
and I bought a Sirius Black and Hermione Granger wand.
What does
They're on our
Sirius
book.
Black's wand look like?
So it's like the handle's like a square, but it like turns into more of like a cylindrical shape. Super cool.
And I know Hermione's is like really bumpy, right? All the way down to the end.
Yeah, it's like real viney. It's
Yeah.
like vines all the way down.
Oh, that's right. I'm thinking of Umbridge wand. We went to Universal Studios the day that Harry Potter Land was opened for the first time. And because my dad and my sister were huge fans at the time, I hadn't seen or read anything Harry Potter except, well, I watched Chamber of Secrets and was terrified when I was a child. So I didn't engage with the story at all. And we went on opening day, and I got Voldemort's wand and a Slytherin scarf because I was like, heh, I'm the bad guy. I mean, it's a cool like bone wand, so I don't regret my purchase now. So that's cool though. You found Etsy seller though.
Are you a Slytherin?
Every time I take the test, I get Hufflepuff. Even when I tried to like tailor it to Slytherin, I got Hufflepuff. They were like, he's joking.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, we didn't talk about that last week. I forgot about that. I am also a Hufflepuff because we're twins.
of course,
Right.
that's
What are you,
awesome.
Colton?
I'm a Gryffindor.
Of course.
classic.
You would.
Aaron's a Slytherin though, so
Oh, okay.
yeah,
Wow.
I think. I'm pretty sure.
Way to figure that out before you marry her.
I'm pretty sure she is.
All right, guys, let's get back on track. As much as I love talking about Harry Potter,
What are we here to do?
Yes, we
I
are
forgot.
talking about Colton's favorite movie, which we have not revealed yet. So before I say it, I would like Colton to bring it up.
So my favorite movie came out. What year did it come out? Came out
we're doing a
in
quiz.
2009. So I saw it in theater whenever I was 8 years old, and it is James Cameron's Avatar,
Woo!
Wow.
Avatar.
which seems
The
to
Last
be
Airbender. Just kidding.
seems to be nobody's favorite movie.
Oof. Well,
I looked it up on Letterboxd today just to read some of the reviews, and I saw a comment that said, "Never trust someone who says Avatar is their favorite movie." And I thought, well,
that's awesome.
I don't know what that says about Colton, but we'll see.
Whoops.
Well, first things first, Colton. The box office agrees with you because Avatar is the highest grossing film of all time, beating out Avengers Endgame last year or the year before with a re-release in China.
Was that long ago?
Yeah,
Baffling.
they came back in. and took that number one spot back.
Mm-hmm.
So, and with sequels in the future, who knows how grand this series could become.
So grand.
But yes, okay. As the movie has come out over a decade ago, I think it's fair to say you probably have seen the movie by now. If you haven't, we're gonna spoil it here
It's
today.
your fault. It's your fault.
I just saw it all the way through for the first time on Sunday. So
wow, that
maybe
is shocking.
I'm in the minority, but
yes,
sounds like I am.
So I will, briefly just say, if you haven't seen it, go watch it. It's the greatest movie ever made, according to the money.
That's all that matters.
And that, yeah, exactly. Money is all that matters. So, Jordan, you have something written here about the lovely James Cameron.
Oh, that was me.
Oh,
that was Kolton.
Kolton filling in our notes. How thoughtful.
Heck yeah.
So yeah, I think that it's important to at least have in the back of your mind when watching just about any James Cameron movie that I feel like I could be totally wrong. Like people could disagree with me, but I feel like with James Cameron, story is like kind of in the background and he kind of focuses more on what we can do with technology to push this story. Mm-hmm. So I feel like his focus is always on what can we do to push technology even farther. And he did just that with Avatar.
He really did. Yeah, the other I looked him up today because I really didn't know much of what else he had done, but probably the biggest names like Terminator 2.
We got Aliens on here. Is that the same
film?
Is that the same one you have in your top 10? Aliens?
No, that Aliens plural is the sequel to the original Alien.
I see.
Titanic.
Which? Oh yes,
Titanic, which is also probably in the top 5 highest-grossing films of all time as well.
Yeah, it's up there.
So, shout out James Cameron for bringing in the buku bucks.
Yeah. Me and Kolton have talked about Avatar multiple times over the course of our friendship, and I notoriously I didn't see it when it came out. I missed the hype train. I tried to watch it probably a year ago and fell asleep halfway through, and then I tried to watch it a second time and I fell asleep halfway through, and but I finally watched it all the way through, and you know what? It is a good movie. I like it. But our question here, let's see. You already kind of said, Kolton, you saw it. When's the first time you saw it?
I saw it like the second weekend it came out in theater with, I think, my mom, grandma, and one of my friends from school at the time.
Crew.
So what drew you guys to Avatar? Like, was it a movie you wanted to see or something you just tagged along with your family to go see?
I think my grandma saw it first. Really? My grandma is really the real movie watcher in the family. She sees everything. And I think she saw it a couple days before we did. She's like, it's a great movie. And it's also pretty reminiscent to a lot of Westerns. Like a lot of like the romantic Westerns and stuff. Which is something that
very romantic.
We've watched a lot as a family. So and then I was super into Star Wars, so I loved sci-fi, and I don't know, I guess Mom thought that I would like it a lot. And it was the first like 3D movie that was like good. And the only one that's been good.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So you guys, it was in 3D when you saw it?
Yeah. I think it only released in 3D in theaters.
Really?
I don't quote me on that. So I probably am wrong, but would not surprise me.
Yeah, I just remember it being the best looking movie of all time. at the time of its release, and for it to look
Mm-hmm.
good in 3D is also
It's, yeah.
quite a feat.
And it still holds up pretty well.
Yeah,
Yeah, it holds up for the most part, for sure.
yeah, and just to think about what the next ones might look like,
Oh my goodness.
who can say? My eyes will betray me.
That and I'm a big Sam Worthington fan. I like just about everything that he's in.
Okay, so what else is he in? Because I don't think I've seen him in anything else.
He is on a movie called Man on the Ledge. It's a heist movie, really good.
Okay.
I think The Shack, which I haven't seen, but
Oh, wow.
I've heard mixed reviews. And then
Yeah.
he was in, shoot, what was it called? Um,
I have
it
some.
was it was like a docu-series about the Unabomber, and he played some detective that tracked down the Unabomber.
Interesting.
Let me
I
look it
have
up.
here Clash of the Titans,
Oh.
Hacksaw Ridge. That's a pretty big movie.
Oh, right, he is in that.
I don't recognize any of these other movies though. He's in another movie called Hacksaw. Interesting.
Oh.
A Disney film. Avatars 1 through 6 is on this list.
I can't believe I'm looking forward to the sequels. I'm so interested to see what they do with them.
What a good time to talk about this movie as
Yes.
the poster came out like yesterday, 2 days ago.
Yeah, how
After
crazy is
over a
that?
decade of planning a sequel, we just got the title of the second movie that's
Wow.
coming out
Yeah,
this
Lord
year.
provides.
And that title is
Lord
Colton?
provides.
It is Avatar, The Way of Water.
The Way of Water.
The Way of Water.
It's a
And
very
that's all we
interesting.
know.
Yeah.
Well,
Perhaps
that's not all we know, actually.
perhaps we move to the water tribe on the Eastern Sea, as they call it. We have some concept art. You know, we got our Zahalus, we got our Sansius. You know, me. I can't believe I haven't already shouted him out. The guy back there in the wall adjacent me, who's not here right now, um, is a huge Avatar junkie. He loves the movie. It's his number one. He watched it with me this weekend. His favorite character is the general or the colonel. I can't remember his name. I don't know the names of any characters in this movie. But he sits there and can quote every single line that guy says, perfectly timed in the perfect accent every time
that's awesome.
he watches the movie. So we love him for that. Shout out Justin Rao. I asked him if he wanted to be on with us today, and he said no. And then we watched the movie, and he said, kind of wish I was there, but I don't want to overcrowd. Because 4 people, that's a lot of voices. So
Yeah.
we'll have to figure that out in the future. Because there is,
Another time.
you know, obviously we want to have our mothers on at the same time. The twins.
Yeah. We'll figure it out.
But yeah, we'll figure that out. Maybe sometime when we're all together, it'll be easier. Regardless.
So yeah,
have-
you saw it when you were 8 years old.
8 years of age. Yes.
Do you remember like loving it instantly?
Yeah. It was like whenever the seeds of the sacred tree were like falling from the sky and like landing on Jake, they were like in the theater. And that's when I was like, this is wild.
Oh, because 3D.
It's like a
Yeah.
4D experience.
Yeah. Like you could like see the seeds like floating around the theater. And that was like the moment I was like, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen.
Greatest
Is there
cinematic
a
experience
stage?
of all time.
Is there a stage adaptation of Avatar? Because I feel like there should be. Because then you can drop real floaty, glowy things.
That sounds
Real floaty
Sounds like
guns.
something
absolutely
they would have done.
ludicrous and totally something they would do.
Oh man, make it into a musical.
The Emerald Island Players.
Avatar on Ice. No.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, that sounds amazing. Um, we have here. What are your, Colton, favorite elements of the film? We've briefly talked about the visuals. It doesn't sound like you're much for the story, at least looking at James Cameron's eyes. But tell us about your favorite components.
Yeah. Well, I do like the story for this.
Okay.
I just know a lot of people don't love the story because they think it's kind of boring. I really like the kind of duality that Jake Sully has with like it's almost kind of like a Ready Player One kind of vibe in terms of like he's in the second body that is way better than his because he can like actually walk and do all this stuff that his normal body cannot do. And then yeah, it's really reminiscent of like the old westerns. Specifically for me, Dances with Wolves. Um, kind of like how yeah, Kevin Costner's character falls in love with the Indian tribe and ends up fighting with them against the United States or whatever.
Gotta love a movie where all of us white Americans are the bad guys.
Yeah.
Woo!
So I guess a lot of nostalgia played into it, and then like that's all it is nostalgia.
Yeah.
And then just about any flying sequence in a movie, I love flying sequences, and them riding the Banshees is just awesome.
Yeah. That whole sequence of them climbing the floating mountains and getting and like learning how to tame it, and I think it's so funny in that scene specifically because I don't know if he was a pilot, that's how he lost his legs, but he says like bank left, and it's like not only is it English, but it's like a turn of phrase that would mean absolutely nothing to the Banshee, but because they are like one mind, he banks left. And I think that was awesome, that it's like you really get to understand how the whole bond works, and it really is like their nervous systems as a whole become one. And it like I think that alone is one of the coolest concepts of the whole movie, is how all of nature and like all the plants and animals are all kind of connected through this nervous system.
Your ponytails.
Yeah. And they call it Awa, right? As the
god
the mother nature, yeah. And then you have Sigourney Weaver's character, we love. She comes in and she's like shows us the science, like the human perspective, but then we have like the dichotomy, I guess, of the people versus the humans and how they experience it and can tap into it. Big fan.
Yeah, I think the world building and the like rules of the world that James Cameron, I think he's the primary writer of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Everything he created is so like in depth, and it's like it's not confusing, and it easily could be. Like they have ponytails and they USB port into the ground, and they have the spiritual system with the trees, and like it could easily be really convoluted and confusing, but he makes it very accessible, and it what's the word I'm looking for? Services the story.
Exactly.
Because you really buy that humans coming in and cutting down one tree like is a tragedy to this group of natives, because it's one of them, it's part of their spiritual whole. and I think it's just really well constructed story and world.
So good.
So good to hear you talk good about it.
Yeah, I've come around. So I'll give my one issue with it is the pacing. I think the pacing is extremely off because every time I've watched it, when Jake and Natiri, is that her name?
Natiri.
Yeah.
When they fall asleep overnight and they wake up, and the big bulldozer's coming through, I always think that we're going into the last act of the movie, and I checked the time and I was like, "There's an hour and a half left."
We're halfway through.
Yeah.
And then things happen like what happens next? Oh, when they blow up the main big tree that they all live in. I'm like, all right, this is the last act of the movie. Nope, 45 minutes left.
Yeah, it's just
it keeps going and going and going.
Oh wait, there's more.
Yeah. But
So-
I'm down to sit and watch it because I like all the.
And the
It
score.
feels like
Oh yeah.
the score is really good.
Is it Hans Zimmer?
It is
I don't-
not.
I don't think so.
Who's coming in with the Michael Giacchino? Maybe.
I don't think it's a big name, honestly.
I don't think so either.
James Horner.
Okay. Yeah. I know him. He did the
He did
first Amazing
Titanic.
Spider-Man for sure.
They did Titanic and Braveheart.
Oh, there you go.
Braveheart has
Well,
some.
The
music.
first Amazing Spider-Man, underrated score in my opinion.
I
Underrated
actually agree.
movie.
I actually agree. Well,
We'll talk about it.
I have here real quick the runtime for Avatar. Would either of you wager a guess?
4.5 hours is what it feels like.
2 hours and 47 minutes.
Wow, it is 2 hours and 42 minutes.
No.
Wow.
That was incredibly
Dang.
close. I thought you had Googled it and you were just going to
No,
guess
I really
the right
didn't.
answer. So we already have how long it feels for Jordan, 4.5 hours. This movie is 14 minutes shorter than Matt Reeves' The Batman. Which one feels longer?
For me, Avatar, but that's just me.
I think it's safe to say that, well, for me as well, I think Avatar feels a lot longer. For better or for worse.
Yeah. Or like Endgame. Endgame is like a straight up 3-hour movie.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Do you guys think it feels 3 hours?
I think when I look at Endgame, it's like the first time they time travel and you see New York in 2012, that's when the movie actually starts in my mind.
Yeah.
But there's like 45 minutes or an hour before we get to that point.
Probably. Yeah, hour 15. Maybe.
And so, yeah. In my head, I kind of like delete that first part of the movie and then I'm like, all right, the movie's begun. Let's go.
Yeah.
I think for the Batman, I think the Batman feels longer. But that does not mean that's a bad thing. It's just because I know Avatar so well.
That's true. That's definitely a thing when you've seen something so many times, the anticipation is gone and it starts to feel shorter and shorter.
Faster, yeah.
So,
Yeah, I watched the Batman, I think Sunday. I was like, man, this is taking forever. And that was my second watch.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen it too many times, guys. I've seen it way too many times. I've seen it like 6 times.
6 times now. I've only seen it thrice.
Most of which in theaters.
Oh, that's right. It's on HBO now. So
yeah.
Gotta give it a
Big
watch.
fan.
Such a good movie.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
We've already talked a little bit about the sequels. We know the name. We have a release year for all of these movies. Supposedly, the next sequel will come out around Christmas time this very year.
Barring a global pandemic.
Of course.
We'll see.
Colton, do you have expectations for these sequels? Where do you want them to go?
I have no idea. This was one of those movies that I was like, I'm okay if there's no sequel.
Mm-hmm.
But then like, I don't know, 4 years ago, they announced that they were in the makes and that there was going to be like 5 Avatar movies, like back to back to back to back to back
Yeah.
years. And they're filming them all at the same time. And then I got excited. So I have no idea what the story's going to entail. I have no no hopes as far as like, I hope this happens. I hope we see this character. I'm just going in and I'm just going to watch it.
I think that's the best way to probably go about these movies.
Yes.
Yeah. Especially Avatar, because I was thinking about it too. I haven't read anything about the plans for the sequels. I don't know if we know any plot details, but because at the end of the first Avatar, Jake gives up his human body and transfers his consciousness into his what's the name of their species? Avatar.
Well, species.
What's the name of
What are they called?
We're all blanking at the moment. Colton. It's Colton's
the Na'vi.
He has no
the
idea.
Na'vi, yes.
Na'vi.
Wow.
So I don't know if there's. My question is, are there going to be human characters in Avatar bodies, or is it just going to be a story about the Na'vi on Pandora without any humans?
Are the humans going to come back?
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if they come back with a bigger army to obtain the unobtainium. Great.
It's called.
Great.
It's called
name.
Unobtainium. That
could have tried
I
a little bit harder.
So hard when he says, when Frank Jr. from Friends, he goes, "You gotta get the unobtainium. This is the biggest deposit of unobtainium in the galaxy or whatever."
I love that character, by the way. Parker, I think, is his name.
Yeah.
He's like golfing, and he hits the shot, and he's like, "Did you see that?" And the guy's like, "Yes, sir." And you're like, "No, you didn't. You were looking at the monitor."
He's so hilariously evil for no reason, and I love it.
He's great. I do have like a hope for the sequels. I want them to. They briefly brought up these other tribes in like the plains and in the mountains and in the on the coast. I just want them to show us more of those tribes and like kind of the cultural differences between them, because those other tribes don't have home tree. They might not have the tree of souls, you know. How do they factor into the different religious entities that go on? So
I would also like to see if there's some sort of power struggle between the tribes without home tree.
Yeah, now that home tree's gone, if they have, that's an interesting take as well.
They're gonna have to migrate somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting.
James, what are you doing?
What are you doing, James? You got 6 movies planned.
Dude, I hope he planned them all out. I mean, he must have. They're all happening at the same time.
Yeah.
What a crazy undertaking that will be. I will be very excited for the documentaries that will come after this. Because even Marvel didn't make more than 2 movies at a time, and they were completely different groups of people. So that'll
really different feel, like moods.
Yeah. Huh. Very excited to see where it goes.
I think it's good that they got this first movie where we all know how the world works, so in the sequels they can just go straight into. They don't have to worry about explaining. Here's how our ponytails work, or whatever.
Not unlike Blade Runner 2049, the 3rd greatest movie of all time.
Movie. 3rd greatest movie.
Okay.
You've seen it, Colton, right?
Yeah.
Great movie. I watched it the other day. So good.
Anything else on Avatar?
I mean, we've kind of talked for an hour about it. So I don't think we need to specifically ask why it's your favorite movie, unless you have a specific point to bring up.
You have a thesis?
Yeah.
Thesis statement?
I don't really have a thesis.
A hypothesis, maybe.
He just likes it.
Whenever you asked me what my favorite movie was, this is just the one that kept coming up to mind.
Wow.
Yeah. what are some of your honorable mentions? What are some other top
Oh gosh,
movies for Colton?
the new Dune movie
Oh,
is
very good.
way
Haven't
up
seen it
there.
yet.
Very beautiful.
I think it is the best book to movie adaptation that there is.
Wow.
It did win the Oscar for that,
Yes,
It
it
is,
is.
among many others.
It is so true to the book.
and it is incomplete.
Yeah,
It's a first
It's like
part
what, like
of the book.
first quarter of the book.
yeah. It's the
Uh,
like the first half of the book,
Yeah.
Wow.
So can't wait for that sequel. Thank goodness.
which I
they're
will
making it.
say, the book feels a little dated when reading it,
Oh,
but the
really?
movie, yeah. But the movie, oops, the movie I think does a great job of making that dated feel kind of go away.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I
We should
haven't.
talk about Dune sometime.
Yeah, I haven't read the book or seen the movie. I don't really know anything about it, other than it's like peak science fiction.
Yeah.
I know my dad read the book. I hope he has a physical copy because I'd love to read it before I see the movie. So,
So I saw the like teaser trailer or something back whenever it first dropped, and I was like, that looks really cool. And then I read the book. That was like like 2 years ago
hmm
because COVID messed all of the timings and everything.
yeah,
And then I read the book over this most recent summer in prep for it. So too good.
yeah. Any other
Yeah,
honorable
really, really good.
mentions?
Gosh, I didn't come prepared for this question.
I
Um,
mean, there's so many movies.
I know I love so many movies. Rages of the Lost Ark is one that immediately comes to mind without
Hmm.
much thought. Uh,
Mm.
that's another that's another early movie that I was gifted a physical copy of
Nice.
Nice.
that I remember.
That's a great one.
I think my mom got me that one.
That might be my favorite
Also,
Indiana Jones movie.
Mine too.
Indiana Jones 5 next year sometime, I think,
Mm.
or maybe
Really?
2 years.
With Shia or
No, 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 no. Definitely not. They did not ask him to come back, I'm sure.
what, are you just gonna have Harrison
Definitely.
Ford do that again?
Yep.
Yeah.
This poor man. But I guess if I mean,
Yeah.
he wouldn't do the movie if he didn't agree to it. So it must
Exactly.
be.
Yeah.
Harrison
must be-
doesn't care.
Oh, he doesn't care about anything.
He's a
Getting
grouchy
that
old man.
paycheck.
I guess.
He
Not
was
like
actually
needs
in
more money.
Wichita the other day.
Oh, really?
He was spotted in a homegrown in Wichita.
Spotted.
I wasn't there, but
I did not know that.
That's funny.
yep. He flies into their airport sometimes with private jets that my dad sells.
Hmm.
Pretty cool little factoid.
Fun factoid.
That's probably only partially true. I don't really know what my dad does for a living. So airplanes, man.
Something. Okay. So we've talked about the movie. We have our little segment here, our final segment for movie reviews, but I thought it'd be fun to have it here as well. I think it's. I mean, think we'll probably all have the same answer here, but I thought we'd bring it up anyway for the people at home. And that segment is, of course, art or fart. That was the theme music. So great. Didn't hear it ourselves, but they heard it in the future. I'll start.
Did you like what I cooked up there?
I really did. Did you put it? I didn't put it in this last episode.
I put it in, yeah.
Okay, that's good.
I slid it in there.
Okay. I'll make sure to add it this time for this coming episode. I will start. It's art. There's no debate.
Nope.
Colton.
Fart.
Colton, do you think it's a fart?
It is. It is not fart.
It is not fart.
Oh,
it is
man.
art.
Yeah. It is the opposite of fart.
I would love to say that it's fart. That would be great, but no.
Maybe a week ago he would have said it was a fart.
Yeah, but now I've seen it all the way through, and I'll say it's an art.
Wow.
The very first time I brought up Avatar around you, I texted you about the soundtrack. And then you
Yeah.
said it's a bad movie. And it made me very sad.
I don't think I said it's a bad movie.
It
I
felt
think
like
I
you
said I
said
haven't seen it. Yeah, it hurt you personally deep inside.
that. Yep.
Wow.
It attacked everything that I stand for.
I apologize. We're on the same page now.
We are.
I need to add some Avatar to my Spotify film score playlist.
Yeah, actually, we probably should do that. I don't think I have any either, but it's like good music, so.
It is really good.
It's very kind of Dune-ish. Or I guess Dune is kind of Avatar-ish.
Dune-ish.
But
It's
the
kinda got
drums and the vocals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, there you have it, folks. It is art. All three judges say so. You're going to Hollywood. American Idol reference. What is next? Well, before I even finish this whole thing, I want to thank Kolton for hopping on board, taking some time out of his lovely schedule of fixing up guitars to come and talk about his favorite movie, Avatar, that we all love so well. So thank you, Kolton.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, this was a pleasure, and I think the fans at home, the listeners at home will
No, the fans.
agree.
Fans.
Well, yeah. If you guys want to be fans, you can be fans. We'll have to come up with like a percentage of twin that all the people who listen are, depending on how many of them there are. We can give them a percentage
really
of
funny.
twin DNA.
Yeah.
You need to name your fan base.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need a little like the quarters.
The one septifinth twins or something, you know, the tiniest fraction.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Jordan, do you know what we're doing next week? Because I had to look it up.
We had something planned, but I don't think we're gonna do that.
Yeah,
I think we
need to
do
change what we have planned. At the very least, the last episode of Moon Knight will be released, and we will have a full Moon Knight review.
I did have a thought, yeah.
Oh yeah, you have a thought?
Yeah, I thought we'd review the whole Moon Knight series last episode, how we feel like it came together, and maybe do a little Disney Plus MCU show ranking.
I like that idea. I think it's about time we can rank the six episodes.
You can binge watch. If you can binge Hawkeye between now and then,
I'll do it. I'll do it.
It's only 6 episodes. So.
Yeah, that's fine. Exciting stuff.
Good stuff.
Fantastic. Okay. With that being said, everyone, thank you so much for listening. We are the Quarter Twins. You can find us on Instagram, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube at Quarter Twins on all of those platforms because we have such a unique and clever name that no one ever stole it.
That's right.
Thumbs up.
We will see you in the next episode next week as we talk about Moon Knight and other Marvel shows. I will watch Hawkeye. Thank you guys for listening, watching. We will see you next time. Signing off.
Bye.
Closing remark. Outro music.
Bye.